This is Matador News, and these are today's headlines. President Obama nominates Merrick Garland to the Supreme Court. Washington, D.C.'s metro system is shut down for safety inspections. And the CDC warns against the use of prescription painkillers. Hello, and welcome to Matador News. I'm Ebony Hardiman.
And I'm Brittni Perez.
President Obama has nominated Merrick Garland to the Supreme Court.
This is the greatest honor of my life, other than Lynn agreeing to marry me 28 years ago.
Obama called Garland one of America's sharpest legal minds. Garland is the chief judge for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia. If the Senate approves him, he would replace Antonin Scalia, who died last month. Garland is a Chicago native and graduated from Harvard College and Harvard Law School. Bill Clinton nominated him to the D.C. Circuit in 1995. Garland is expected to align with more liberal justices if the Senate confirms his nomination.
President Obama is challenging the Senate to perform their constitutional duty.
Now it's time for the Senate to do theirs. Presidents do not stop working in the final year of their term. Neither should a senator.
As of now, the Senate's Republican leaders are refusing to consider Obama's nominee. They say they won't hold a hearing or a vote for Garland because they want to wait until the new president is elected in November. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says the American people should have a voice in filling the Supremacy Court vacancy.
Of course, the American people should have a say in the court's direction. It is the president's constitutional right to nominate a Supreme Court justice, and it is the Senate's constitutional right to act as a check.
Garland is scheduled to visit Capitol Hill tomorrow before their two-week break.
North Korea has sentenced American student Otto Frederick Warmbier to 15 years hard labor for what they call crimes against the state. The 21-year-old University of Virginia student traveled to Pyongyang on a trip with the China-based travel company Young Pioneer Tours. Warmbier admitted to attempting to steal a banner with a political slogan from his hotel in the North Korean capital. He said, possibly under duress, he should have never allowed himself to be lured by the U.S. administration to commit this crime. The North Korean government says Warmbier was encouraged to commit this act by an alleged member of an Ohio church, a secretive university organization, and even the CIA.
A bombing in Pakistan has killed at least 14 people and injured 53 others. The fatal incident occurred when a bus carrying government employees exploded in Peshawar. Police say suspect someone got on the bus, dropped off a bag, then got off. Rescue workers took the dead and wounded to nearby hospitals. And in Nigeria today, 2 suicide female bombers killed at least 22 people who were praying at a mosque. The attack took place in Kano, one of the most active areas for Boko Haram. More than 50,000 people have fled the area and are sheltering under military protection.
The 29-hour shutdown of its metro system sends Washington, D.C. into chaos. The shutdown is affecting some 7,000 residents who live in the city and in the suburbs. 600 electrical cables need to be inspected. Uber has taken the opportunity to also surge its prices almost 4 times its normal rate. Many residents took to Twitter to complain about the congestions, but also thanked BikeShare for allowing them to rent free bikes in order to make it to their destinations.
Republican candidate Marco Rubio has dropped out of the race for presidential nomination. After a loss in his home state of Florida, where Donald Trump won all 99 delegates, Rubio says it's time to quit.
The fact that I've even come this far is evidence of how special America truly is.
Frontrunner Donald Trump says after his major delegate wins, it's time for the GOP to embrace the fervor of his candidacy.
To win by that kind of a number is incredible.
Despite Trump's big wins, John Kasich's win in his home state of Ohio may have to blow Trump's campaign. Hillary Clinton is looking to the upcoming election after her wins. She is in position to be the first female to win a nomination from a major party after winning in Florida, North Carolina, Ohio, and Illinois.
Now let's go to the newsroom to hear from Matador News reporter Eric Kaback, who has more on the upcoming presidential election.
Thanks, guys. As the presidential election approaches, many people think the Republican Party seems to be in disarray. There have been talks of a brokered convention if Donald Trump wins the Republican candidacy. CSUN political science professor Nicholas Dungey touched on what exactly is going on with the Republican Party.
The Republican Party has lost its ability to identify and nominate the individuals it wants to represent the Republican platform in the general election, in this case specifically the presidential election.
Students here on CSUN's campus have a wide range of opinions on the Republican frontrunner.
I think it's ridiculous. Donald Trump, I think if you have that kind of money, anybody could be president. Like, I'd rather have Mark Cuban be president. They both have the same intelligence on politics.
But in terms of whether he has created the dissatisfaction of the electorate or the people who are voting for them, I don't think so. The world has existed before Donald Trump.
He's said some pretty vulgar things about people, about Mexicans in general. He's not gonna win. Like, he's for sure not gonna win.
Fox News has recently canceled their upcoming Republican debate as all three candidates said they would not participate in it. The Republican primaries will be on Tuesday, March 22nd in Arizona and Utah. For Matador News, I'm Eric Kaback. Now let's go to Sanestina Hunter who has more on health.
The Centers for Disease Control say opiates are addictive and doctors need to monitor users carefully. The CDC says the powerful drugs are overprescribed to patients to alleviate pain, but the risk of addiction overdose can be deadly. But American Cancer Society President Chris Hansen says the drugs help cancer patients with severe pain. CDC also says doctors should consult with patients more diligently about treatment plans. A new study reveals going cold turkey to quit smoking versus gradually stopping has higher success rates. Researchers say 49% of participants who went cold turkey didn't relapse compared to 39% who continued smoking within 6 months. Researchers also say that healthcare providers should offer a plan to quit first instead of the patch. When smokers have a positive attitude and confidence, they are more likely to be successful long term. For the latest in entertainment, let's go to Sharon, Carrillo.
Thank you. 10th-time Grammy Award winner John Legend has called out Donald Trump Jr. on social media. The artist turned to Twitter to clarify that Donald Trump is a racist after Donald Trump Jr. had posted negative comments about anti-Trump protesters. Trump protesters tried to label Legend as uneducated, but it backfired when Legend pointed out he graduated from the same Ivy League school, Pennsylvania. John Legend, who is executive producer of the new drama about slavery, Underground, says this country must confront its history in order to address race relations today. 3 new governors have been appointed to the Academy of Motion Picture and Sciences 51-seat board: African-American director Reginald Hudlin, Latino writer Gregory Nava, and Asian-American animator Jennifer Nelson. The appointments followed through on the promise made by Academy President Cheryl Bone Isaacs to create diversity in the film industry. For the latest in sports, let's go to Sanestina Hunter.
Thank you, Carrillo. The Golden State Warriors are making history with point guard Steph Curry. Shooting three-pointers to get the crowd reaction is more entertaining than basketball. Analyst Curry points may match or even break records set by Michael Jordan. Basketball Projections Index say there is a 40% chance that he will beat Jordan's records. CSUN Baseball is having their best start since 2002. The Matadors have won 9 back-to-back games. Their next 4 games will be this weekend, starting Friday against Houston Baptist. Let's go to Sharon with the latest on business.
A new study shows most Americans believe CEOs are overpaid compared to the average worker. According to the survey by Stanford University, 3 out of 4 Americans believe that CEOs are being paid vastly more than what they deserve. But the study shows most Americans underestimate how much CEOs are actually making. The average person believes corporate chiefs make about $1 million a year, but studies shows the average CEO makes 10 times that. CBS will either sell or create a spin-off of its entire radio division. The company's founder, William Paley, bought the Columbia Broadcasting System 88 years ago. Those radio stations went on to becoming the focus of the CBS broadcast empire. Current Chair Leslie Moonves says the reason is to unlock value for shareholders. Now, let's go to Matador News reporter Dana Lights in the newsroom with CSUN students' plans for the upcoming spring break.
Thanks, Sharon. Spring break is almost here. Students are excited to have a week off from school. Their plans vary from spending time with family to going to Cancun.
For the spring break, I'll be going to Cancun with my family.
Towards the end of the spring break, I was thinking about going on a backpacking trip to the Santa Barbara Mountains.
Pretty much for spring break, I'm just, take a breather from doing schoolwork and also work as well.
Honestly, I'm just going to be working.
Yes, I will be going to Mexico.
Well, for spring break, I'm going to be spending time with my family, getting some homework in. I'm going to go to Disneyland, going to go to Hawaii.
I'm going to sleep.
I go with my mom to Mexico, but the problem with that is they say a bunch of dumb things that I don't want to go.
You already know, just the usual, turn up and everything.
With the time off, students can relax after midterms and have fun in the sun. Weather during the break will be in the mid-70s to the low 80s. If you're planning to sleep in or go out, just remember to be safe. Now let's go back to Ebony in the studio.
In San Francisco, a homeless man is receiving a $150,000 reward for helping police officers capture 2 fugitives. 3 men had escaped from a jail in Santa Ana on January 22nd and were the target of a statewide manhunt for days. 1 fugitive surrendered to police in Orange County. The other 2 were spotted by homeless man Matthew
People were
K.
sleeping in
Chapman.
it because the windows were all steamed up, heavy condensation. I thought to myself, there's 2 people in that van.
Neri and Chu were in San Francisco when Hay Chapman recognized their white GMC van from news reports. A Target manager who submitted video surveillance of the fugitive and the owner of the white van are helping compensate the homeless men with their reward money. Thank you for watching Matador News. I'm Ebony Hardiman.
I'm Brittni Perez.
I'm Sharon Carrillo.
And I'm Sanestina Hunter.